Hello students, today we are going to start our new chapter tissues. As we know, all organisms are made up of cells. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. In unicellular organisms, a single cell performs all basic functions. For example, amoeba. A single cell of amoeba carries all life processes such as movement, intake of food, digestion, respiration, and excretion, etc. But in multicellular organisms, there are millions of cells. Most of these cells are specialized to carry out only a particular function. For example, some cells will carry out movement, another group of cells carry out digestion, etc. Like this, most of these cells carry out specialized function, and as they carry out only a particular function, they carry out it very efficiently. Means we can see work division. A group of cell is performing only a specific function, and so they can perform that function very efficiently. For example, in human beings, muscle cells contract and relax to cause movement. Nerve cells carry messages. Blood carry out transportation of food, oxygen, hormones, waste, etc. In plants also, vascular tissues conduct food and water from one part of plant to other. In short, in multicellular organisms, work division is there. But in unicellular organism, single cell performs all these functions. But multicellular organism shows division of labor. As a result, multicellular organisms have higher efficiency and higher survival as compared to unicellular organisms. So due to work division, the efficiency of the work increases. Such cells specializing in one function are often grouped together in the body, और इसी ग्रुप और क्लस्टर ऑफ सेल को हम कहते हैं टिश्यू. So tissue is group of cell similar in structure that work together to perform a particular function forms a tissue. तो टिश्यू क्या है? टिश्यू इज अ ग्रुप ऑफ सेल विच इज सिमिलर इन स्ट्रक्चर एंड which perform similar function together. So we can define tissue as the group of cells that are similar in structure and that work together to achieve a particular function. For example, the group of cell which is performing work of digestion, one group of cell which can perform work of respiration. All types of tissues have two basic components. One is cells having common origin and function. So if tissue is there, that means it is a group of cells, but those cells are having common origin and function. कि ऐसे सेल जिनका origin सेम है, जिनका structure सेम है और जिनका function सेम है. स्ट्रक्चर सेम हो ना हो पर उनका फंक्शन क्या रहेगा? सेम रहेगा. Second thing is intercellular substances. These substances are non-living, fibrous, jelly-like substances. So these two things are common, most basic components of the tissues. Tissues become organized to form organs and organs into organ system, and by this it improves the organization. It forms developed and complex body design of multicellular organism. So cell is basic fundamental and structural unit of life. Group of cell से बनेगा टिश्यू, ग्रुप ऑफ टिश्यू से बनेगा ऑर्गन और ग्रुप ऑफ ऑर्गन से बनेगा ऑर्गन सिस्टम. और इससे हमारी या फिर जो भी ऑर्गेनिज्म है उसका बॉडी प्लान, बॉडी डिज़ाइन कॉम्प्लेक्स बनेगा, उसका सर्वाइवल चांसेस और हायर सर्वाइवल लेवल बढ़ेगा. And so complex organisms are having tissue level, organ system level organization. So this is what tissue is. But now question, But now question arises, are plants and animals made up of same type of tissues? To answer this, let us compare structure and function of plants and animals. See, plants are fixed at a place while animals have to move for food and shelter. So there is no similarity regarding movement. Secondly, plant shows non-uniform growth, or their growth is limited to certain regions, such as tip of shoot or tip of root is growing. But animals are showing uniform growth. We can see the growth in animal is uniform and all over growth takes place. Plants obtain food by process of photosynthesis, while animals are dependent on the other organisms for the food. Plants need less energy for growth and development, but animals need more energy. In plants body, most of the tissues are dead, and in animal body, most of the tissues are living tissues. So, from all these differences between plants and animals, we come to know that they are having completely different structure and function. And so, it is obvious that the plant and animal tissues are not same, they are of different types. And so tissues are broadly classified as animal tissues and plant tissues. First of all, we'll discuss about plant tissues. Plant tissues can be broadly divided into two main types. First one is meristematic tissue and another one is permanent tissue. We'll discuss meristematic tissue. We know that growth of plant occurs only in certain regions because of presence of dividing tissues known as meristematic tissues. These tissues are keep on dividing and forming new cells are for increasing number of cells. So these cells are called as dividing tissues and also known as meristematic tissue. So meristematic tissues are group of actively dividing cells present in growing regions of plant, for example tips of roots and stems. These tissues are responsible for increasing the length and girth of plant. So as these are dividing tissues, their main function is to keep on dividing to increase the number of cells to carry out the growth. And so these tissues are responsible for increasing height and girth of the plant. The cells of the meristematic tissue are similar in structure and have thin cellulose cell wall. These cells are similar in structure and having a thin cell wall. The cells may be spherical, oval, polygonal or rectangular in shape. The cells of meristematic tissue are compactly arranged and do not have intercellular space. So these cells are not having intercellular space. The cells have dense protoplasm with prominent nuclei. So in the cells of meristematic tissue, protoplasm is present and prominent nuclei is there. Dense protoplasm is there because these cells are continuously dividing, and so while dividing they form new cells, and for that they are having new dense protoplasm. Vacuole in these cells are either small or absent. Do you know why in meristematic tissue vacuole is small or absent? You can answer this question. In chapter 5 we learn about function of vacuole. What is the function of vacuole? It stores water, food and gives support to the plant. But it does not need it in meristematic tissues. So there is no need of vacuole, there is no need of storage of food, storage of water or giving support to the plant, because these are dividing cells. These keep on dividing and forms the new cells. So no need of vacuole. That's why vacuole is small or absent. On the basis of their position in the plant body, meristematic tissues are classified into three types. apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, and intercalary meristematic tissue. Apical, from its name we can understand the position of this meristematic tissue. These are present at the tips of roots, shoots, branches and leaves. जो रीजन है जहाँ ग्रोथ होती है, जैसे रूट कंटिन्यूसली ग्रो होते रहते हैं, शूट ग्रो होता रहता है, ब्रांचेस एंड लीव्स ग्रो होती है, तो ऐसे ग्रोथ रीजन में एपिकल पार्ट में टिप पे ये एपिकल मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू प्रेजेंट होते हैं. It brings about the elongation of root and stem. So function is what? It carry out elongation. It increases the length of root and stem. It results in increase in the height of plant, which is called primary growth. So growth which takes place due to apical meristematic tissue or the growth increase in height of plant is considered as a primary growth. Next is lateral meristematic tissue. The girth of stem or root increases due to lateral meristem. This lateral meristem is also known as cambium. These are present along the lateral side. नाम से ही इसकी पोजीशन पता चलती है, lateral. So these tissues are present laterally on the either side of the stem and roots. For example, cork cambium. It causes the organ such as stem or root to increase in diameter and girth. This is called secondary growth. So horizontal growth is called as secondary growth and vertical growth of plant is called as primary growth. Next is intercalary meristems. They are located at the base of leaves or internodes. For example, stems of grass, bamboo and other monocots, and below the nodes, for example mint. So at the internodes these tissues are present and they carry out growth at the internodes at the base of leaves. It produces an increase of length of organ such as leaves and internodes. So sugarcane, bamboo tree, here we can observe at the nodes, internodes of these plants we can observe the intercalary meristematic tissue. It increases the length of leaves and internodes. So this is the structure figure which can explain us the position of meristematic tissue. Apical meristematic tissue present at the tip of stem to tip of root. Intercalary present at the base of leaves and base of internodes. Lateral which are present laterally on the stem or the roots. Functions of meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue acts as a parent tissue from which other tissues are developed. So these tissues are dividing tissues, keep on dividing and form new cells. These cells afterwards get develop a different structure and perform different function, and so these are called as parent tissue because from these tissue other tissues get developed. These tissues take part in growth by formation of new cells. Main function is what? Formation of new cell, increase number of cell, increase the cell mass. The place of injury in plants is healed up by the formation of new cells by meristem. So wherever if any cut is there or injury is there to the plant, then there this cambium or meristematic tissue start new cell growth and it heals the injury of the plant. So these are the functions of meristematic tissue. Next type of tissue is permanent tissue. Students, do you know what happens to the cell formed by meristematic tissue? These cells take up a specific role and lose the ability to divide. So जो मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू है वही बाद में अपनी डिवाइड होने की एबिलिटी खो देते हैं और एक स्पेसिफिक फंक्शन करना शुरू करते हैं और इस वजह से उनको एक स्पेसिफिक परमानेंट शेप, साइज और फंक्शन मिल जाता है और उनको ही हम कहते हैं परमानेंट टिश्यू। मतलब परमानेंट टिश्यू किससे फॉर्म होते हैं? परमानेंट टिश्यूज आर फॉर्म्ड फ्रॉम द मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज ओनली. So, permanent tissue is a group of cells which is derived from meristematic tissues. But these cells have lost the power of division temporarily or permanently. तो मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू अपने डिवीजन की एबिलिटी खो देते हैं, वो डिवाइड नहीं हो पाते, उनको एक स्पेसिफिक स्ट्रक्चर और फंक्शन मिल जाता है और उन्हीं टिश्यूज़ को हम कहते हैं परमानेंट टिश्यू. The development process by which cells which have been derived from meristematic tissue take up a permanent shape, size and function is called as differentiation. See, the cells of meristematic tissue differentiate to form permanent tissue. Means ये जो cells है वो एक परमानेंट शेप लेंगे, साइज़ उनको एक मिलेगा, उनका एक स्पेसिफिक फंक्शन होगा. ये सारी प्रोसेस को हम कहते हैं डिफ्रेंशिएशन. सो सेल ऑफ मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू डिफ्रेंशिएट टू फॉर्म permanent tissue. And differentiation means what? The process in which meristematic tissue get shape, permanent shape, size and function is called as differentiation. Permanent tissues are of two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissues. This flowchart will help us to understand the types of permanent tissue. Permanent tissue is of two types: simple and complex. Simple permanent tissues are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. And complex permanent tissue are of two types: xylem and phloem. We'll see simple permanent tissue. These tissues are composed of cells which are structurally and functionally similar. So, simple permanent tissues में जो भी ग्रुप ऑफ सेल्स है वो सब सेल्स स्ट्रक्चरली भी सिमिलर होंगे एंड ऑब्वियसली उनका फंक्शन भी सेम होगा. तो इट इज़ अ ग्रुप ऑफ सेल विच आर सिमिलर इन स्ट्रक्चर एंड फंक्शन ऑल्सो. These tissues are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. First one is parenchyma. Parenchyma forms the bulk of plant body. It consists of thin-walled living cells. So these are the characteristics of parenchyma tissue. Parenchyma is the tissues which are present all over the plant. It forms large part of plant body. It consists of thin cell wall living cells. So parenchyma is living cell having thin cell wall. The cells are isodiametric. Isodiametric means what? Equally expanded on all the sides. So these cells are equally expanded in all the sides. The cell wall is thin and encloses a dense cytoplasm which contains small nucleus and large central vacuole. So they are having large vacuole, small nucleus and having dense cytoplasm. The intercellular spaces are abundant. So intercellular space means what? Space between two cells. Here between two cells of parenchyma tissue, large intercellular space or large space is present. The parenchyma is present in all the organs of the plants, that is root, stem, leaves, flowers, fruit and seeds. So we are saying that it forms bulk of plant body. Now see the functions of parenchyma. The main function of parenchymatous tissue is storage of food. That's why they are having small nucleus and large vacuole. They store food, water and so large vacuole is present in the cells of parenchyma tissue. For example, starch in the parenchyma of cortex of potato tuber. Parenchyma forms the framework of all the plant organs and tissue. That's why they are having large intercellular space. Parenchyma serves as packaging tissue to fill the space between other tissues. It stores waste material of plants such as gum, resins, crystals, etc. The intercellular air space of parenchyma cells allow gaseous exchange. As they are having large intercellular space, so it helps for the exchange of gases between the cells of tissue, between the tissues. If the chloroplast is present, the parenchyma tissue is called as chlorenchyma and it performs photosynthesis. So, parenchyma tissue are of two types, chlorenchyma and arenchyma. Chlorenchyma means the type of parenchymatous tissue in which chlorophyll is present, and due to this chlorophyll the cells can perform the process of photosynthesis, and so such tissues are called as chlorenchyma tissue. In aquatic plants, large air cavities are present in parenchyma to give buoyancy to the plants to help them float. Like lotus or aquatic plants, they can float on the water surface because of large hollow space, large air cavity is present at the base of leaf or the base of flower, so that that flower leaf can float on the water like lotus plant. And so these are called as arenchyma, having air cavities, chlorenchyma having chloroplast. Next type of tissue is cholenchyma. Cholenchyma is usually found in 3-4 layers beneath the epidermis in stem. So एपिडर्मिस के नीचे 3-4 लेयर में हमें कोलेनकाइमा दिखाई देगा इन द प्लांट्स. पेट्यूल्स एंड लीव्स ऑफ herbaceous dicot plant. So it is observed in the petioles and leaves of herbaceous dicot plants. The cells of this tissue are living, elongated and irregularly thickened at the corner due to pectin deposition. So due to deposition of pectin, these cells are thick at the corner and these are elongated and living cell. In cholenchymas, intercellular space are generally absent. So in these cells, intercellular space or space between the cells is less or absent. Functions of cholenchyma: it provides the mechanical support. As they are not having intercellular space, they are performing the function of protection also. They are providing mechanical support, provide protection, flexibility and elasticity to the plant organ. It allows easy bending in various parts of the plant such as leaf, stem without breaking. So if we pull branch of the plant, it doesn't break easily because of this cholenchyma tissue. Cholenchyma tissues gives support, protection, flexibility and elasticity to the plant. When cells of cholenchyma contain some chloroplast, they can manufacture sugar and starch. Next is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma cells are the dead cells. So student, remember, parenchyma and cholenchyma are living cells. Only sclerenchyma is the dead cells in simple tissues, simple permanent tissues, and they are devoid of protoplasm. As they are dead cells, so they are not having protoplasm. They are long and narrow and the walls are thick due to lignin. Such cell walls are called lignified cell walls. So these sclerenchyma is the dead tissues and their walls are very thick due to lignin. Lignin is a component which makes the cell thick and rigid. The cells of sclerenchyma are closely packed without intercellular space. Cells of sclerenchyma are of two types, fibers and sclerids. Fibers consist of very long, narrow, thick and lignified cells. सो फाइबर्स इसके नाम से ही पता चलेगा कि ये फाइबर जैसे लॉन्ग हो गए, नैरो है और थिक है बिकॉज ऑफ लिग्निन. स्क्लेरिड्स आर इरेगुलर शेप्ड. दिस टिश्यू is present in stems, around vascular bundles, in the veins of leaves, and in the hard covering of seeds and nuts. Husk of coconut is made up of sclerenchymatous tissues. Husk of coconut, covering of seeds and nuts, all this is made up of this sclerenchyma tissue, which makes it very stiff and hard because these are dead cells. Function: the sclerenchyma is mainly giving mechanical support and protection. So its main function is to provide support and protection, as they are dead cells, so they provide protection and mechanical support. It gives strength, rigidity and stiffness to the plant body and thus enables to withstand various strains. It provides strength to the plant. Students, on this slide we can see three types of simple permanent tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. See, parenchyma is having large intercellular space. A is giving lengthwise view and B is cross section of the parenchyma and all these tissues. Collenchyma is having less or no intercellular space, and sclerenchyma is having thick cell wall. Cell wall is rigid due to the lignin deposition, and it is of two types, that is fiber and sclerids. So this is about simple permanent tissues. Thank you and have a nice day.